Welcome to another Progress podcast. We're in extraordinarily hot weather over here in the UK, but coincidentally, speaking of hot weather, we're going to be talking about one of the hottest shows on the UK wrestling calendar in just a few days from the Camden Electric Ballroom, none other than Progress Wrestling 24/7. And to join me, I'm feeling a little bit left out with the attire here, wearing a typical wrestling black t-shirt, but all the way from Liverpool, I think, from Progress HQ, we got Mike Mad Dog Angus. Mike, how you doing?
Hey, John, it's great to see you as always. Yeah, you mustn't have got the memo about the beachwear today.
Nobody told me. Nobody does. And of course, we got a very, very special guest all the way, gracing us from Tenerife, no less, by the swimming pool there, in probably better weather, believe it or not, than we've got over here in the UK. So, Val, so thank you so much for joining us again. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me under these tropical conditions. I mean, like you said, it's hot weather, but we have an even hotter show to discuss today.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, as if you all need reminding, this is what we're going to be talking about in just a few days from the Electric Ballroom, London, the 24th of July, 24/7, the latest show from Progress Wrestling. And it is going to be a stacked show. We're going to be talking about the individual matches. And of course, we've got the Thunder Bastard to look forward to as well, which is going to be absolutely amazing. If you're not familiar with the Thunder Bastard, we will refresh you on the rules and how it's going to work and all the entrants. But guys, let's go straight into it, and let's talk about a match that I think the audience are going to absolutely love, and it involves Maggot, who has wowed the Progress fans over the last few shows. And of course, we saw him in Super Strong Style and over Super Strong Style weekend last month. And of course, he had a little bit of an interesting encounter with a certain Mr. Charles Crowley. And, I think we'd seen it all when they had their little dance in the ring, which was one of the highlights for me at Super Strong Style. But I think this match here is going to be fascinating. You've got two of the biggest characters on the wrestling scene at the moment, two of the best entrants anywhere, regardless of whether it be UK, Europe, or worldwide. And these two can definitely deliver in the ring. Mike, if you don't mind, I'm going to hand over to you first. Maggot versus Charles Crowley. This is going to be a fantastic match that we're going to be graced with on Sunday, 24/7. Tell us about your thoughts.
Oh, definitely, John. It's two of the most entertaining wrestlers that I've encountered in the last couple of years. Maggot, from WXW, from Frankfurt, he has put on some absolute shows in the ballroom, and what a character! The entrance, the strut, it's all well known. He's got himself into the hearts of the Progress faithful, and Charles Crowley as well. Obviously, what an entertainer, the greatest showman in British wrestling, and somebody I was lucky enough to see last year, John, is when I caught up with you at Wrestle Carnival. That was the first time I'd seen Crowley live, and I'd been told so much about him, but to see him and, what a performer he is. And this match, as you said, they were in the 4-on-4 match with Damo and RSP as the captains, and they ended up in some sort of Lombarda or Tango or something. And then RSP and, Big Damo didn't want to continue the dance-off and came in and broke that up. So, we could have one last dance at 24/7. We'll have to see.
There we go. And Val, over to you, looking splendid over there in Tenerife, of course. But these are two of the biggest characters on the wrestling scene at the moment. And I think the Progress fans over in the Electric Ballroom, they're going to be in for a treat on Sunday. But give us your thoughts on these two individuals and what sort of a match can we expect?
I think you can expect excitement for sure. And I think, Mike said it so poignantly. This is someone who was a favorite. And Maggot was really a really fast favorite with the fans. It was like immediately, right? And I fell in love with him immediately too. I've said many times before that I love that Progress gives such a spotlight to our international talent. So I love that Maggot is representing his home country. And I got to tell you, without playing too many favorites, I love an entrance. I love a character. I love a big, personality. And Charles Crowley, I literally listened to his theme music today at the pool. So I am a fan, and any match that he's in, I'm on board with. But these two specifically going head to head, I think is going to be extremely exciting. That's what I would use. excitement.
Exactly. And I think from my perspective, expect some shenanigans and some tomfoolery from Charles Crowley. And
Always.
Maggot had better to have his wits about him, I think, in this one. But just putting them two together, it's just a dream match you didn't know you wanted.
Right.
And we're going to be seeing it live and in living colour on Sunday from the Electric Ballroom. And running along the bottom of the screen, if you haven't already noticed, is all the ticket information, not just for 24/7. But also for the Deadly Viper Tour. And just go to progresswrestling.com/tickets. It will transport you to the Dice app and you'll be able to get your tickets for 24/7 and the Deadly Viper Tour, which we'll talk about later straight away. So do not miss out. Do yourself a favor. Click on the link that's going to be in the description to this show and get your tickets today. But guys, let's talk about the match number 2 that we have queued up here. And it's a very interesting tag match involving 4 of the women's roster, part of Progress Wrestling. You've got Eliza Alexander and Lana Austin teaming up to go against Alexis Falcon and Raven Creed. We've seen a fair bit of these 4 over recent chapters for Progress. And Lana Austin looks like she's finally got her wish and got a match on a Progress card, probably much to the annoyance of Lee McAteer. But there we go. She's managed to get her way in there. And this alone, just bring up the match graphic again. This is world-class talent here. Eliza Alexander, obviously a regular on NXT UK, and of course with Progress recently and all over the UK Indies. Lana Austin is absolute money wherever she performs. And of course you've got Alexis Falcon and Raven Creed, who has been building her fan base amongst the Progress faithful over the last few months. But Mad Dog, I'll start with you again. This is going to be a very tasty, very interesting and very competitive tag match.
Well, yeah, Lana Austin interfered in that match at Super Strong Style 16, day 3. Cost potentially Raven Creed the match. Put the straight jacket on her in the ring. You know, obviously Raven has been wanting a match with Lana Austin for a little while, and she got her wish, but not quite in the way she expected, because Lana Austin called in a little bit of backup in the form of Eliza Alexander. What an amazing competitor as well. But then, you know, Raven Creed had an ace up her sleeve, because you know, you could say that Raven and Lana might be worst enemies, but I know Eliza Alexander and Alexis Falcon have had some absolutely bitter feuds around the UK in a show I'm particularly familiar with, at TNT Extreme Wrestling. They feuded over the women's title there, and you know, it was some of the best, not just women's, but all wrestling matches that I've seen. Some of the matches those ladies had. So this tag match is it's just added fuel to the fire, you know, adding these 2 into it. So it's going to be a bit of a chaotic one, I think. And, you know, it's going to be hot in the ballroom on Sunday. So we'll see it there.
And Val, give us your thoughts on this one. Let's say lots of rivalries, lots of dynamics here, but a very exciting tag match, I'm sure.
Yes, for sure. And I will say it's going to be hot in that ballroom, but the heat's not going to be coming from the sun. It's going to be coming from the tension in the ring. And by the way, you mentioned that straitjacket. She's got to be still thinking about that scenario. But I will say, you know, these 4 women, these 4 strong women, I actually raised my glass on purpose because I want to raise a glass to these 4 strong women, and I want to raise a glass to Progress Management for giving this spotlight to these fabulous women. There you go. Mike's got his vodka there.
Oh, yeah.
Just a bottle of tequila today.
But no, all of these women, I mean, like you said, Eliza Alexander has found incredible success in NXT and on the independent circuit. Alexis Falcon is someone who I am becoming not only like a friend of, because I love her so much, but I'm such a fan of hers too. And just the first time that I ever spoke with her in an interview, I just remember saying to management, I was like, this girl is really, really great. She's got such fire. It's funny with the fiery red hair and such a babe as well. Obviously Raven has a lot of history with Lana and a lot of scores to settle, but Lana, my goodness, I mean, I don't know what they're thinking, but I mean, when you put Lana at ringside, you've seen what can happen. So now you're going to have her in the mix up here, in the mix, deliberately in the ring. This is going to be one not to miss. And not only because there's a lot of history, there's a lot of emotion going on, but because the women are so strong in this match, all 4 of them. And Progress really chooses who to represent the brand well. And these 4 women, very, very diverse, but they're all really, really talented and unique in their own way. So for that reason, I love the diversity here as well.
Wow, that's going to be a great match. I'm looking forward to it even more. But speaking of tag matches, At Super Strong Style, we saw probably one of the best tag matches you're ever likely to see, the triple threat ladder match. And that takes us on to 24/7, where Sunshine Machine defend their Progress World tag titles for the very first time against an interesting combination of Leon Slater and Ricky Knight Jr. So I think it was chapter 134 back in May, quite possibly, where Ricky Knight Jr. and Leon Slater actually faced one another in an epic battle. A really, really hard fought win for RKJ. But an interesting, I'd say, proposition to put the two together, and no less for the World Tag Team titles and Sunshine Machine's first ever defense of the titles. So lots going on here, and the question has to be asked, and I'm going to throw it over to Val first of all. Can RKJ and Leon Slater coexist, considering they fought each other just a few chapters ago, and how will they fare against Sunshine Machine?
Very good question, Johners. I think, with as much on the line, it makes it more exciting. I know Sunshine Machine, they're amazing. They're fan favorites. I mean, God only knows what they're going to have in store. We talk about us with our summer party. They always make sure that their entrance is amazing. So I'm excited for that personally, just as a side note. But I've seen a lot of RKJ before. And did I say that correctly? RKJ, that's the right letter?
Mm-hmm.
So I know how impressive he is. I've worked with his family many times up in Norwich, and seen him come through the ranks and just really improve and come into his own. But wouldn't it be, just as a little scenario here, wouldn't it be amazing if these two young upstarts, let's think about this for a second, if they claimed the tag team titles from Sunshine Machine as a unit, as young, hungry, up and coming, amazing wrestlers, which of course they have great careers ahead of them, but what would this mean for their careers? How exciting would it be for them? And honestly, how exciting would it be for the fans as well? Because as much as I love Sunshine Machine, I love sort of an upset, especially when a younger talent and two younger talents get to shine. So if I have to pick a winner, if we're doing that, but if I have to pick winners, I love Sunshine Machine and I love their interviews with me and they're so much fun. But wouldn't that be, just as a fan, wouldn't that be so exciting to think about?
Oh, 100%. And Mad Dog. Yeah, Mad Dog. This is going to be potentially a show stealer between four of the best talents on the UK scene. But Sunshine Machine, they're going to have a lot to prove, or they're going to want to prove themselves as tag team champions, being their first title defense. But like I say, if RKJ and Leon Slater can coexist, they're going to be in for a hell of a battle.
That's it, Jonathan. Sunshine Machine are certainly not going to want to lose those titles after they've just worked so hard to gain them. And the interesting thing about, obviously Jody Fleisch was meant to be teaming with Leon Slater. We wish Jody all the best in his recovery from picking up a knock there. I hope he's back on the scene as soon as he can be. And, Leon, obviously RKJ has earned his respect in the match they had. There must be some sort of friendship there between the two of them after that matchup. Definitely respect earned in that one. It was a tough victory for RKJ, and I think from that respect there could be forged a partnership, and we'll have to see how they coexist together. As you said, Leon, one of the most exciting young talents in the country. I've been awestruck by some of the stuff that guy's what he can do. But RKJ, he is absolutely polished. Everything he does is done with impact, and what a wrestler, and also one of the toughest men coming through in the business. I saw him have a match just last week. I believe it was against David Francisco, and RKJ thoroughly dominated that one, and it was it was brutal, but it was executed to perfection. I would say that RKJ is the new excellence of execution, and at such a young age, that is, a big title to bestow on somebody. So I think I'm really looking forward to that one. And, the only problem they might have is if they can't coexist as a tag team. Sunshine Machine could pick them off one at a time there because their tag team is, absolutely dynamic and brilliant. So, we'll have to see. Very exciting times, though, for sure.
Absolutely. And like I say, you're going to get a very, very hot tag match with the gold on the line, and lots of interesting dynamics to look out for there. But let's talk about this match here. It's going to be a very strange and interesting and bizarre match to talk about right now, and probably even more bizarre to watch. You've got the former Cara Noir, Tom Dawkins, in a match as Tom Dawkins, going up against LK Messinger, who we've seen in a Progress Ring before, back in the No Fans shows. But I don't quite know how to start this one, to be honest with you, because I'm so used to seeing Cara Noir with the amazing entrance and the very dynamic, exciting moveset. And of course, I think it was day 3 of Super Strong Style in June. Spike Gervais stripped him of pretty much his entire identity, name, look, moveset. So I don't know quite what we're going to get here from Tom Dawkins. We can't call him Cara Noir anymore. And LK Messinger is obviously going to have a lot to prove. But Val, I'm going to throw it over to you. This is going to be a very interesting match for all of us fans that loved Cara Noir so much, and what we might get from these two on Sunday.
So sorry, guys. I had to move inside. I fell in the pool. The Cabana Boy's getting me another drink. Don't worry. It's all good. I actually lost my signal, but I am getting another drink from the Cabana Boy. Eduardo, uno más. Sorry. Anywho, yes. So Tom, I can't believe, and Mike's going to back me up here, I can't believe we have to call him Tom. I mean, thanks a lot, Spike Gervais. It just feels wrong, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It feels wrong. I'm actually really excited, and I'll keep it brief. I'm actually excited to see him versus LK because I'd like to see the other side of Cara Noir. I'd like to see Tom and how he's, I don't know, kind of navigating into this new forced upon him departure from Cara Noir. So, Mike, doesn't it feel strange to call him Tom?
It is a strange situation, and I feel like it's been forced upon him by Spike. It was, when he said I quit, I was devastated. I couldn't believe it, and the fact that Cara Noir in Progress has gone, and it's Tom Dawkins now. I thought that'd be the end of Tom Dawkins completely, the whole entity. But the fact that he's sort of stripped this character away from him, and it's still the man there, Tom Dawkins. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on, because you see people put makeup on and get into sort of a psyche, and it'll be interesting to see if he's still got the heart that we've seen from Cara Noir. And obviously the athleticism is still going to be there. So this guy's going to be absolutely awesome. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. And just the way Spike has tried to take sort of, I don't know, his pride away from him, really, giving him the wrestling boots again when he's wrestled barefoot. I feel that's just disrespectful by Spike. And to take some of his best moves, the Madam Guillotine, the Swan Woo, away from him, he can't use those anymore. They're Spike's moves now. I just feel like it is just a dastardly move by Spike, and it'll be interesting to see. And making him face LK. Now, LK is a guy who's not at the best of luck in Progress, unfortunately, during the Peckham era. He's been on the end of a few losses. So this is a guy coming in who's got something to prove. He's a tough wrestler himself. One seen him wrestle in Cardiff in Wales before, part of the tag team Bolarama. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. And this one is going to be a really interesting bout, because I have no idea how it's going to go either way. So really intrigued by this one.
Yes. All we can say is best of luck, Tom Dawkins, and it's going to be a very interesting match for the fans, seeing Tom in a situation that he's never been in before, certainly in a Progress ring. Now, we all remember a Super Strong Style and this magical moment when Kanji managed to regain the championship she never actually lost the first time round, making her officially a 2-time Progress Women's World Champion. And of course, on Sunday at 24/7 from the Electric Ballroom, she faces the number one contender, Laura Di Matteo. Laura's been chomping at the bit. She's been number one contender for a little while now, and she finally gets her opportunity at the big one against Kanji. Now, Kanji is going to want to prove herself as a champion the second time over after that extraordinarily tough match against Giselle Shaw. But both of these two fierce competitors will be putting on a hell of a display from the Electric Ballroom in front of the Progress faithful at 24/7. Val, this is going to be a wonderful match and a great opportunity for Laura, but even more of an opportunity and a chance for Kanji to prove that she is the fighting champion she set out to be.
Yes, and I think she can back up everything she said that she is. I think she's a great representation of Progress Wrestling around the world as our women's champion. No one's going to forget that amazing, unforgettable match with Giselle Shaw, and how she came to be Progress Women's Champion. So I'm so proud of her. But I have to tell you, Laura Di Matteo, I have interviewed her, and you talk about somebody with fire and somebody who is just chomping at the bit to prove themselves. And she spoke to her opponent in Italian once, and I thought, I'm getting this girl mad. Like, she has a lot of fire and a lot of determination in her, which I love to see. So Kanji's an amazing champion, but I think you can't underestimate Laura Di Matteo, and I think she's going to have her hands full. whatever that means in Italian, you know.
I'm not the best person to ask. No good with languages. But Mike, you know Liverpudlian, so I'm going to hand it over to you.
Yeah, that's not gonna help me in this situation, you know. But Laura Di Matteo, as you mentioned, she's a tenacious competitor. She just had her birthday, celebrated her birthday this week. You know, I think she's going to be looking forward to giving herself a bit of a belated birthday gift on Sunday, possibly crowning herself the women's champion. And you know, she's got the skills to do it. She's a tenacious athlete, a great competitor, and you know, that one is going to be it's going to be technical, but it could get our hand, that one as well. So you know, I'm looking forward to it. Kanji, obviously, amazing competitor, but Laura Di Matteo, you know, she didn't care if it was Giselle, she didn't care if it was Kanji. She knew she was wanted to take her #1 contendership match, and she wanted it. She was ready to go for the gold. So you know, she's this is her chance, this is her time, and you know, Kanji only just become the champion. This is the best time to strike. You know, while she's just getting used to being champion, it'll be you know, could go either way, this one.
Yeah, and that match perfectly demonstrates why the women's division in Progress Wrestling is the best in the very world, and the cream of the crop in that championship match. That's definitely the match that I'm looking forward to. And then not forgetting Swerve the Realist, Swerve Strickland, gracing our shores once again. And yes, he's had a lot of success over in America, but he'll be going up against somebody he knows fairly well in Nick Wayne, somebody he's faced before. But Nick Wayne has, like I say, he's developed, he's grown, and this could be a different Nick Wayne that Swerve will be facing at 24/7 from the Electric Ballroom. But Swerve and Nick Wayne, two of the most exciting wrestlers on the independent scene all over the world. This is going to be a treat for the fans of the Ballroom on Sunday. And Val, if you don't mind, I'm going to start with you. It's probably going to be a treat for yourself as well. A tremendous match to look forward to.
It really is. And Nick Wayne, I'm very excited to see in person. Both of these competitors I've never seen in person. So I'm excited to see how they fare. And I know that the fans, you know, just from social media alone and the tweets that we've been seeing, Swerve Strickland is someone that they are just over the moon about, that he's coming to Progress Wrestling, and they get to see him live in Camden. And again, it's such a fun venue. You know, shout out to the Electric Ballroom, such a fun, raucous atmosphere and rowdy. So this one's going to be fun. And that's part of my favorite part about being new to Progress Wrestling is a lot of these people I haven't seen in person. So I just get to be a fan and get to enjoy it. But from what I've seen on YouTube and people have been posting a lot of clips of theirs, I think I'm in for a real treat.
Mad Dog. We're going to see Swerve again, gracing the Electric Ballroom once again. He wowed the audience last time. This time it sounds like he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder, a bit of a point to prove. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, definitely. So these guys fought each other back in Defy. I believe it was in tail end of February this year over in Seattle, Washington. And they had an amazing matchup. It's one definitely worth checking out. If you go to Defy's YouTube channel, you can watch it for free on there from Defy 50. What a match they put on. And then very interesting at the end of the match as well. Swerve had a few words to say for Nick Wayne, and obviously this is part 2 of that matchup, so you definitely need to check that out this week at some point. But there's some interesting words exchanged between them at the end of that one, and it leads perfectly into this, that we've got part 2 in the Electric Ballroom, and these guys, we're so lucky to have them both on the show, and the fact that they often you'd want them to face UK competitors, give them a chance to fight each other, but these have got such a grudge between themselves that this has got to get settled, because they couldn't possibly be on the same card and not face each other, they said, because there's there is some bad blood here, and Nick Wayne really wants to prove to Swerve how, even in just the short 6 or 7 months since they last fought each other, how far he's come along. He's had matches with some of the best in the world, and at the same time, Swerve's become, tag champion over in the States. It's all happening for them both, and this is going to be a really interesting and exciting matchup. They're both from a similar sort of area in the States, and Nick's got something to prove. He really has, and it's going to be amazing. Val, you're in for such a treat, as are.
I'm excited. Yeah,
it's going to be class.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we flashed up pictures of Giselle's magical moment over at Super Strong Style last month. But how about this, gentlemen? Chris Ridgway, carrying so much gold now. But he, of course, is the brand new Progress World Champion, having outlasted all of the competitors. Super Strong Style came out winning the tournament and becoming the new Progress World Champion. And on Sunday at 24/7, he'll be taking on somebody he's reasonably familiar with, somebody who I believe he's fought before, Super Strong Style, as a matter of fact, Dean Allmark, Dino himself, at 24/7 for the Progress World Championship. And this is going to be a tremendous battle against two of the best technical wrestlers, two of the best technical wizards, dare I say it, you'll find anywhere in the UK, Europe, worldwide. We all know that Dino invents wrestling moves for fun, and Ridgway inflicts pain for his own pleasure. But guys, this is going to be a tremendous match, and I couldn't think of a better opponent or a better first challenger for Ridgway's first defense of the world title. Mike, if you want to kick us off, you know these two very well. How do you think this is going to go down?
Yeah, well, two wrestlers, as you say, I know very well. I've encountered them right throughout my personal career in wrestling, and they've both been absolute stalwarts on the British scene. Both great technical wrestlers, both great teachers, and I believe Dean trained Ridgway at the start of his career on some of the finer points of wrestling and things. But yeah, the interesting one about this one is it was actually a match that wasn't scheduled for the show. It came about only last week when Dean Allmark actually sent us a promo video leading up to the Thunder Bastards, because Dean was originally meant to be in that. And when Dean sent the video over and said what he said in his promo, once I've won the Thunder Bastard, I'll be coming back for you, Ridgway, because I want that championship. And, Dean, in his debut of Progress, actually defeated Chris Ridgway. Obviously, Ridgway, Super Strong Style 16, got his revenge there and, eliminated Dean from the tournament in the early rounds before going on to be victorious at the end. But, in that one, so it's 1-1. This is the rubber match. And what happened was basically, Ridgway saw Dean Allmark's promo and said to him, why wait? I'm a fighting champion. I'll face you at 24/7. I haven't got a match lined up. I'll take you out the Thunder Bastard right now and face you now. I'll beat you now, he's saying. So the confidence from the champion there to take it on, as well, to take on Dean Allmark. It's 1-1 in their rivalry. So that rubber match, it's going to be, anything could happen there. It's going to be really exciting. Another great one.
Val, give us your thoughts on this one, because this is going to be hard hitting. There's going to be lots of technical wrestling. The fans are going to be in for an amazing treat between these two, but these two know each other very well. Ridgway and Dino, they know each other very, very well. But it's too close to call, almost too close to call this one. And of course, the stakes have been raised because it's for the World Championship.
Yes. So let's start with the pros. So, the pros are everyone's going to be entertained because it will be a technical masterclass for sure. And they're both, amazing wrestlers, both very, very well respected. Also for the Progress World Championship. This is a huge match for Dean. And I think I believe he's ready for it. I think, he's so well respected in the locker room and with the fans. And he's proven himself time and time again. The cons, what I'm worried about, Ridgway, and I think Mike will back me up here. We've seen a bit of a shift in his attitude. I think I said this the last time we all spoke, it's my job as the interviewer to be backstage and kind of get everyone's candid thoughts. And I just keep kind of seeing this, confidence is one thing, but I'm seeing kind of this progression of aggression. Let's call it that. Let's hashtag that trending now. And I'm just worried that, there's a bit of a mean streak going on, and Dean is such a technical, respected wrestler that I just hope that it stays fair. I hope that Chris Ridgway is, remembering that to be a champion, you're still representing Progress Wrestling, and, he can be a bit of a hothead. So I just, I love wrestling. I don't love violence. So I just hope it stays in a very technical, you know what I'm saying, Mike? You've seen a little bit of aggression. I don't know. And confidence is one thing, but I feel like he's kind of, you don't want to see him get drunk with power having this championship at this point. That's what I worry about.
Yeah, and you don't want to. Some of the brutality I saw from Chris Ridgway at Super Strong Style 16. It was a step up from what I've seen from him before. I've seen him, sort of angry. I've seen him, batter Ethan Allen before in Liverpool. But this was at sort of a different level. He was sort of like he was taking some pleasure in inflicting pain on people. Gene had battled so hard in that tournament, And then when he ran into Ridgeway, it was just, you know, it was brutal, you know, and Ridgeway, there was not a moment where he cared about his opponent whatsoever. And it was, and against Warren Banks as well in the final there, you know, he was violent and he inflicted a lot of pain on Warren. And, you know, obviously Warren has picked up an injury now and we wish him all the best as well. And, but as well, I know both those guys, Gene and Warren, will be, you know, hoping to get their revenge on Ridgeway at some point. And, you know, but Dino, I think this is a huge match for him. I've seen him in championship matches before, and he said it's his year, and it very well could be. So,
and of course, we saw how dominant Ridgeway was during the tournament, and I'd say he's looking to be a dominant champion. But Val, did you want to close this out, or did you have a few words there?
Like I said, I mean, Mike said it so well. I think it's going to be an amazing technical masterclass, but I also think that I'm interested to see the era of Chris Ridgeway that we're now in. I'm interested to see where it goes. And, you know, who knows, it could be the Allmark era after you know, after 24/7, but I'm interested to see the match no matter what, because even between the tension that the two guys are going to have, it's just going to be an amazing match for the fans. And that's who we are excited that are going to experience this live and in person at the Electric Ballroom in Camden. But as John, as you said earlier, you know, click that link below, because we will be having replays on demand as well if you can't make it here. We realize that a lot of our fans are global, that a lot of them are in the US, and we're just so grateful that they can now catch the replays. And this is going to be one of those matches you're going to want to watch over and over again, I'm sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we spoke about the individual matches there, and lots of amazing matches and talent to look forward to. But how about this one to cap off our preview show, the 24/7 Thunder Bastard match? Yay! Now, Dad, if you're watching, I apologise for swearing, but it is the Thunder Bastard, and it's one of the favourite matches of the Progress faithful. There are a few matches, there's a few rules. 2 competitors will start the match, and a fresh combatant will enter the ring every 3 minutes. Elimination will occur via pinfall, submission, or disqualification, and the winner will earn the right to a title match of their choosing, anytime, any place. How interesting. So this is kind of like a gauntlet style match, and let's run through some of the entries. Of course, we did have 8, we're down to 7, and I think we're back up to 8 again, aren't we, Mike? And we'll talk about that in a moment. But the 7 I have graphics for: Kid Lycos, and always shenanigans. There's always shenanigans when Kid Lycos is around. And Val, I know that you spoke to Lycos Gym not too long ago, and their intentions for the Thunder Bastard. So that'll be interesting to see how Kid Lycos fares. Of course, we've got Robbie X, who is determined to make 2022 his year. Had some outstanding matches during Super Strong Style weekend, including against Aramis. One member of the 0121, former tag team champion Man Like DeReese, will be in the Thunder Bastard and will be looking to make it his. And of course, good friend, 0121 stablemate and former tag team champion, alongside DeReese, you've got Dan Maloney. It's going to be interesting to see how those two coexist. We'll talk about that in a moment. We've got the Axeman, Axel Tischer, will be another big name as part of this year's Thunder Bastard. And of course, not forgetting the Progress's favourites, Dan Dirty Dog, Gene Money will be there once again to try to scratch, bite and claw his way to another championship opportunity. And of course, everybody boo. This bit, Spike Trivet, who, nobody really likes, but he has to be seen as a leading contender in this year's Thunder Bastard, and he made his intentions perfectly clear with his promo video that you can see on the YouTube channel. But guys, yeah, absolutely. Val, I'm going to start with you. And there's one more, isn't there, Mike, which you can probably tell us about in a moment. He was announced yesterday. But Val, some big names there, all vying for the same goal, to win the Thunder Bastard and earn themselves a championship match. Give us your thoughts on some of them individuals.
I love the creative freedom, by the way, that, any match, any title. That's very, very cool. Anytime. It's interesting to think about which competitor in Thunder Bastard would, excuse my language, would what they would do with that opportunity. And that's interesting to think about, because Gene Money, obviously, I think we know what he would do. He's one of my personal favorites, as you said, a Progress Wrestling fan favorite. But you touched on it a little bit, Johners, like DeReese and Dan, like, they're all listen, you're a tag team until you're not, until you're against each other, all vying for the same thing. This could be a huge. This is how boy bands break up. This is how boy bands break up. This is what happens because one of you gets a big opportunity, then the other one's jealous. Like, it could be a lot of like tension between 0121. It could be, oh no, 121. And I'm excited to see how they fare against each other. I don't know if they'll help each other, and I don't know. We'll see. Because it is every man for himself in this. I love Robbie X. I have a huge, fangirl moment over Robbie X because I saw so much of him in WOS, and I just thought the world of him. And I just love seeing him, his progression and his evolution. And it is his year. 2022 is the year of Robbie X. So excited for him. I can't really pick a favorite. I'm just glad that we have such a diverse roster and that we're going to see so many different styles inside the ring as well.
Indeed. And Mike, I'd say some interesting dynamics, some big names, some of the biggest names in Progress Wrestling there. Give us your thoughts on the 7 that we announced. And I think you've got a little bit of a name to drop for us as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll let you know now, guys. I believe the 8th person who's going to be in the Thunder Bastard tournament is going to be none other than CPF's Danny Black as well. So what a young talent who's going to be joining the others in that matchup. That's an amazing announcement, So how exciting that he's going to be involved in that match. And it is, 8 of the best wrestlers on the planet who are in this matchup, the Thunder Bastard. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be violent. And, it is going to be a battle. Somebody is going to have to, scratch and claw their way to the top in this one. As you said, interesting dynamics between some of the people in there. Axel Tisha, what a talent. It could be his chance to shine at the Thunder Bastard. And as you said, with the 0121, the Lyrical Dragon, Darius, and Driller, Dan Maloney, it'll be interesting to see if those two end up clashing in that one, or if they can, or they could end up, somehow working together to, if they're the final 2, then they're definitely going to have to fight each other. But we'll have to see what happens there. And there's so many different outcomes that could occur here. But the shenanigans of Lycos. You've got Gene Money, and what if Gene Money does win? He has the chance. I don't know what they're going to be given as the prize or reward for this matchup. I know what they win, but I don't know if there'll actually be a physical, item or reward for them. That'll be something else that we'll have
maybe
to
a new dog collar for Gene Money. Maybe. I might appreciate a new dog collar or something.
Like a golden dog bowl or something like that, for the damn dirty dog.
Chicken wings.
Yeah, and what is what is he going to go after? It could be anything. So that'll be. I just think that match is going to. You've said about a couple of matches possibly stealing the show, but the Thunder Bastard, it's it's an absolute spectacular, and it's going to be wild. It's going to be hot in the ballroom on Sunday. So make sure you bring your water bottles with you and everything.
Stay hydrated, kids.
Bring your cocktails. Yeah, it could be a day for cocktails, I think.
The temperature's going to be hot and the action's going to be even hotter. 100%, 100%. And there's a bar there as well, so treat yourself to a pint while you're there. But that's pretty much rounded off the matches for 24/7. So much to look forward to. And as we said, scrolling along the bottom, you'll notice that the ticker with tickets information of where you need to go to get your tickets for this Sunday for 24/7, and of course the Deadly Viper tour. Just go to progresswrestling.com/tickets, and it will take you through to the Dice app. And like I say, it's a few easy steps, and we'll see you in Camden and across the country on the UK tour, of course. And speaking of the Deadly Viper tour, let's quickly touch on what we know so far. Of course, we've got 5 dates starting from next month, remarkably, at the O2 Academy in Sheffield on the I think that's the 13th of August, Newcastle on the 14th of August from the Boiler Shop, and then of course in September from Birmingham, the O2 Academy, the 25th of September, October the 9th from the O2 Ritz in Manchester. And then, of course, the Deadly Viper tour comes to a close, rounds off the code name Snake Charmer Cardiff, the 16th of October. So a fantastic tour there. And, of course, these are some of the matches that we have to look forward to. Mike, if you want to run us through some of the slides that I'm bringing up here. But I'd say some of the matches that have been announced already, August the 13th from Sheffield.
Oh, mate, we've got all sorts of exciting stuff coming up. Robbie X versus Takeshita at Copperhead. That is just going to be an absolutely mind-blowing match. Obviously, anyone who's watched television recently will have seen Takeshita. He's going to face Dean Allmark in Newcastle. It's you know, and you know that match could be for the championship as well. You just
good point.
never know. We'll have to see what happens. That we might have to switch that up. We've got Hayata competing as well in Sheffield, and you know, we're bringing some of the best wrestlers on the planet to Sheffield and Newcastle on the 13th and 14th of August. There's going to be just amazing matches, and you'll get to see as well, announced at the end there, on the 25th of September in Birmingham, Chris Brooks returning to Progress Wrestling, another amazing announcement. And, you know, we're so excited for the Deadly Viper tour. We just can't wait. And I'll tell you someone else who's excited for it.
We cannot wait for the excitement. I heard it was Beach Day, man.
Oh, there he is.
There we go.
Celebrity cameo.
Right, I love you all. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you can have some flowers.
Oh, fantastic.
Who was that?
Who was that? Lee he's partying it up today. It's a hot one. It's a hot one here on the world.
There's so much to look forward to, and it looks like, Mike, you've got a lift. But it's so much to look forward to over the next few months, starting from this Sunday, 24/7 from the Electric Ballroom in Camden. We've ran through the matches, and of course, we've given our expert opinion on how we think it might go down and on all of the combatants. But it's going to be a fantastic weekend of Progress Wrestling from London, from Camden. Like I say, click on the link in the description to this show to get your tickets today. And don't forget to get your tickets, not just for 24/7, but for the Deadly Viper tour. But from me, Johners, I want to thank you so much. I've been your host, Mike Mad Dog Angus. Thank you for joining us once again. And Val, we're going to leave you to enjoy the rest of your holiday in Tenerife. But thank you so much for joining us this week. I really, really appreciate all of your help.
Thank you. Such fun. I'm so excited for Sunday. Very excited for Progress on Tour, the Deadly Viper Tour. But again, click those links below. Do it now. Do it now. Don't be that guy. Do it right now. Don't wait.
We can't wait to see you all there. Thanks, everybody.
See you soon. Cheers.
See you Sunday.